everyone, my name is Vianney, and today I'm going to be sharing this video with some tips on how to take proper care of a classic snake chain Pandora bracelet. The first thing I'm going to mention is these little bits that we see. These are clip stations. These are really important because we put one clip here, another clip here, and those, what they do firstly is they kind of divide the bracelet into 3 different sections, 1, 2, 3, and as we put charms on our bracelet, they will limit the charms from sliding all over the whole bracelet. Whatever is here stays here, whatever is here stays here, and whatever is here should stay here. If it is not an open work and just goes through this. What I mean by that is this bracelet, or I'm sorry, this charm is just hollow. It does not have that little inner core, that little kind of like inner twist, inner scores like we have on here. So if I put this charm on, it goes on easily, but I don't have any form of protection at the end, so it just slides out. So that's one thing that why these are also important in case we have just a few charms starting off and a couple of them are open works. These are very important because we should limit the charms to this or this section and not too much this one in the beginning if we're just a brand new Pandora collector. The other thing about clips is they, again, because it's kind of divided into 3 sections, the 1, 2, 3, as our bracelet stretches and gets more flexible and wear over time, these allow the bracelet to evenly or more evenly kind of divide the weight along the bracelet, and it should be stretching and becoming more flexible more evenly, and this is highly important because these, as we can see, all the little links move very evenly on the bracelet. Where something is brand new, they do that. We can do that, but this is not as flexible. This is kind of as much as it will give, where if I open this one's already pretty, I think it's as stretched and as flexible as it will get. See, I can do that. I can do, just kind of bend it and twist it in any way I want to. So these are a lot more flexible on your wrist and just kind of have more movement to them. And that's really important because this one, if you can see, let's see, where it kind of bends. If I do this, like I was doing the other 2, let's give it a moment. Or, there we go. For example, if I twist or, move the bracelet as I was doing the other ones, these are a lot more closely knit, but as I get to this part, do you see that? There's a wedge, a gap right there. That's because this style of snake chain bracelet does not have those clip stations. So if I were to fill this one, it's a snake chain bracelet but has a drawstring closure instead of a clasp. At one point I had this filled completely with charms, and well, it just had the weight just on the whole thing, and then it kind of moves around on your wrist however it wants to because of this, and the weight was just not being the greatest. I had it full at the heaviest it could be at right from the beginning. So what I did was I took those all off and I just kind of keep it to smaller, like a smaller set, a smaller bracelet design. but it kind of left that damage where the weight was not being dispersed evenly. I guess I had maybe the heaviest charms in the center, which makes sense. I had some Muranos in the center, and well, you know, it just was not stretching the way it should stretch or evenly. So that does count as a damage, because if it were to get worse, and in extreme cases, these have opened up and people have had broken bracelets, and that's not what we want. So I am trying to be extra careful with this one going forward. I now have clips as I do on this one, but because this is smooth and does not have those stations, I will show that. If I open it up, these are the clips that have silicone on the inside. See, there's no clip station. You can see the little darker, there we go, the black, that's the silicone. So that ensures that once I put them on, they don't slide all over the bracelet, and I control where I want them to be. So that's just a little thing that I'm doing with this one, just to be extra careful. Some tips: if you have one of these, don't make it, do not fill it to max capacity, do not make it too heavy. Use the clips with the silicone, and hopefully you won't have what I have, or hopefully in my case this will not get worse. That little stretch or misstretch will not get worse, okay? So that's why these are important. I do believe in that tip, which was a Pandora tip. Also, Sales Associate, they highly kind of, you know, push the sale of these as more of a recommendation, because they do really want people to have these and not have, you know, user error, where there have been cases, I think they're also extreme, where people don't have clips. The charms just slide all over the bracelet, and I've also seen cases, which I think might be extreme, but these have become loose and they move around or even fall off. And well, that also counts as, well, damage on your bracelet, and we want to keep our bracelets intact as best as we can, because these are an investment. The bracelet is an investment, any charms that we have are an investment, so we should try to be as careful as we can. Oh, little side note, this little marking, in case anyone has wondered what it is, it's not chocolate or anything like that. It's a birthmark. So you might have a little, you know, glimpse of that in my videos, but little side note. So yeah, we should always try to take care of these, because, you know, everything that, all my bracelets that I've had, I've always followed that rule. And I started back in 2013, and thankfully I've never had anything horrible with the clip stations happen, any, you know, breakage. This is the worst thing that I've had, but it's, I mean, this is a newer bracelet, and I never thought that could happen, but now I see the importance of following the rules. So I mean, this is the worst thing I've happened in all these years of collecting. So you know, I think I have done a good job. The other thing is, for more of a protection, not so much user error, is in using safety chains. So I do have two safety chains. I have this one, which has those little bits on the inside, little screws. So I have to twist it through these little, you know, it has to actually twist through this, twist through the clip stations on my bracelet. So I will demonstrate that. And I say that I only have two because I do and don't like the classic way that safety chains were being made. So they typically have that little screw on the inside. They have one side on the chain where this does not move, and this does move. See that? So if I have a plain bracelet like this one, it's empty. It's easy. I just put on my safety chain, guide it through all of those three sections on the bracelet, and I could even, you know, twist it onto this so it hides that little end piece. And again, now on this piece, for example, I would put all my charms on. Let's just get maybe this charm on here. So another thing that I do, actually, don't mean to interrupt what I was mentioning, but see this? That little piece? And one time a Pandora associate told me that when you put them on the wrist of your hand, arm, always put the P towards the bottom, because when this is closed, the P, you want to remember that the P push, or in Spanish P presiona, that way when you go in with your nail, with one of these, I should actually do it, huh? Let's get focused. You're gonna go into that thing and push going down. So yeah, that opens it up, and I mean, it didn't look that easy right now on camera, of course, but when it's on your arm, when I do that, it's so easy to open. It just pops open right away. So because I do that, I always put this down, because when I put it on my wrist, it's going to be like that, facing me. So I always make sure that I look at this, and since I want to see the view of this charm, let's see, I want it to look like this when I put it on, and not look like, oh God, there we go, like that. I don't want to see the charm like that. So I follow that rule, or not a rule, just a tip, where this is facing me. So when I put charms on, I should make sure they're facing me. So I'm just going to put that on this way. And back to the safety chain. I'm going to put the safety chain. Again, turning it, twisting it on the bracelet. So as we do that, of course, this usually gets twisted as we do twist movements, but that little piece that I mentioned or closed up on, that this moves, eventually you pull it and this becomes all straightened out. So if I now close my bracelet, or actually I'm going to leave it open, because the first point of a safety chain is in case for some odd reason the bracelet opens while it's on our wrist, we have the chain and it catches the bracelet and it does not fall to the ground. The next thing is, in case that were to happen, with the safety chain being on here, all these charms, whatever charms I have here, are all protected and we don't lose our charms. So hopefully, if that were to happen, we see it hanging opened on our wrist, or if it were, we were to make a hand movement and it falls down, it fell to the ground, we heard it, but at least our charms did not fall off and go, flying everywhere. So here's what a bracelet looks like with a safety chain, with the clips, and with, a charm to start off. So, that's why it's really important to have these, because especially if something odd were to happen where it were to fall off and this were to twist off, all these charms have the protection of 1, 2 clips, and potentially the safety chain. So these are the ones that would be the hardest to lose. These have the protection of this and the safety chain, and then anything here has the protection of the safety chain. But sometimes I've seen many people, sometimes I've done it too, they'll put the safety chain and then at the end they will put a clip. So here I have an open clip ready to go. So I'm going to close that. And you always want to hear the snap on any clips. You want to hear the snap on your bracelet. That makes sure that it's definitely closed. If you don't hear the snap, I would not trust it. So yeah, see that? The safety chain cannot go any further than this, because clips are always more narrow. The opening is always more narrow than a charm. So these never jump over that little end piece or the beginning piece where you feed the charms through. So, that's what it would be like this. This one is fully safe, fully protected. Where I have this one. It's a smooth snake chain bracelet. This one does not have clip stations. It does not have those little twists, the little twisty bits on the end or the beginning. And with these, you can use a safety chain, of course, but that won't be of much use to you if this opens, because anything like that with the twist, it'll slide right through this, because that one was going through the little twisty pieces here, and since this one is smooth, it's just gonna slide on and off. So I mean, the protection is there when this is closed. You've got that. It kind of keeps the charms, or actually no, it doesn't even keep the charms in place, because if it were to open, that slides off and all the charms slide off. So your option with these kind of is only a safety chain with the silicone bits on the inside, and the safety chain is like that. So this is more narrow, just like a clip. It will not go through these pieces. Or the other option, it's the clips that have silicone on the inside. They don't have the chain like this, but at least your charms will not fall through here. So I'm going to open this up just that way you can see. These, the safety chains that are like this, were kind of like a clip station where it opens and closes and has the silicone. There you go, silicone on the inside. So, let's see if I open the right side. Okay, I did. So this one, it's what I mentioned before. It does not have any inside twists, so I just slide it on and it falls off. But that's what it did here too. But this one does have, see that? Those little twists on the inside, the spirals. Since there's no twist here, it just slides on and off. So if I have these two charms on here and I go to close this, okay, I just follow the same rule here. I want this to face down. Actually, there we go. Okay, now they're safe. And if this were to open from this one, at least I have the protection again. It does not fall off my wrist, and they're all there. Where if I just have the clips with silicone, it might still fall off my wrist if it were to open. But all the charms would not go flying because they are protected with those two clips. Again, I have never had a case where I have had one of these open, whether it be this barrel style or this bracelet style. They've never opened up on me. But you know, it's just important to follow these tips, because we don't want again lose the bracelet, lose the charms, because you know that hurts. It's pretty sad for that if that were to happen. The next tip, of course, is something that Pandora provides: the little drawstring baggies and the box. Do not throw these out, because these are treated with some sort of chemical, where our bracelet should be stored in here, ideally, and if you close it, whatever the fabric is treated with will not allow our bracelet to be oxidized when it's in there. So we've got, of course, one layer of protection here, another layer of protection if we put it in a jewelry box, or if we don't have one or don't have room in ours, we can put it in here. A lot of people like to store theirs in the plastic baggies, and I do that with some bracelets, but I kind of only do that with my Pandora Shine pieces or my Pandora Rose pieces, because I'm not sure how great this baggie is for those. I'm not sure if whatever this is treated with is safe for those, just because those are you know, just a layer on top of the sterling silver, whether it being the 18 karat gold or the rose gold metal made by Pandora. So that's why I do this for all my sterling silver and not so much for those. The other tip is, if it were to get what did I say, oxidized. If it were to get oxidized, there are polishing cloths. This one is from Pandora. You have to purchase these now. Where before, initially years ago, they used to give them out for free, but if you have a polishing cloth, I'll try to link one that I have from Amazon, which is really nice. It's a 2-pack. I think it was $10 about. Don't quote me on that, but it's a 2-pack and it's huge versus this. It's $5 from Pandora and it's really tiny. So we can kind of see there. It's getting gray. It's taking off whatever oxidization it has here, so it'll kind of polish it up, shine it up, because these are treated with, again, some sort of chemical. This is the one I have from Amazon, Mayflower Productions. I mean, it's huge compared to, I mean, you know, it catches little lint and stuff, of course, easily, but, you know, it's huge. I mean, where this one would catch lint, too, to be honest, but, yeah, I'll link that. Polishing it off will take off any oxidization. There are cases where it can be oxidized, either, you know, take a black tone, a dark tone, or if you have like lotion or something else on it, it can tarnish and, you know, kind of take a yellowy look on it. But that's why the other thing that you can do is just a toothbrush, a soft bristle toothbrush. This one's one from Pandora. It came out with their original cleaning set that they came out with. You would take a little bowl, put in some hand soap, some dish detergent, just small squirt, you know, get water in there, mix it around, get it nice and bubbly, and put, you know, put your either whole bracelet in there, take charms in there, or take the whole bracelet apart, put in first charms and bracelets, and just kind of give them a nice soak, rub them while they're in there, and then take a soft bristle toothbrush and just kind of, you know, rub the charm, rub the bracelet, and it'll get off any, you know, dirt, any of that little residue from the oxidation, anything from the weird, you know, tone it might be taking from, you know, just tarnishing in any odd way. It'll take it off and it'll shine it up. And what I like to do is I'll do that first, soap and water, I'll dry them gently. You know, don't want to rub them down with a towel and get any, you know, potential scrapes on there, softly. And then once it's dried, then I'll polish with a polishing cloth, because if I'm taking the time to maybe take the whole bracelet apart, I want to make sure I get the bracelet and the charms as clean as possible, doing both methods. That way, hopefully, I won't have to do it for another, you know, while. It could be, you know, once a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, 3 months, you know, maybe clean them once a year. I don't know, whatever you see is necessary for your bracelet, depending the wear, is what you should follow, just because we also don't want them to get too bad to the point where this is, you know, you really have to be working hard to get it back and clean to this point. It's better to take care of it periodically and not let it get out of hand. But I hope everyone enjoyed. Ooh, yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed this video on some tips for taking care of your Pandora bracelet. Please give my video a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on Instagram, whatever you'd like. I am enjoying making videos. I hope everyone else is enjoying my videos. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.